Midwest Simon provide 5 core services on an ongoing basis. The Family Hub, Tenancy Support, Housing First, the Food Bank and the Drop-In.
Midwest Simon deals with people who are homeless and those at risk of homelessness. We run a food bank in Limerick. It started in 2014. Since then, we've expanded into Clare and we're currently expanding into North Tip. So we have food banks in Ennis and Kilrush. In Limerick, we operate on Wednesday mornings. That's through donations from Food Cloud via Tesco and Aldi.
A couple of years ago, we were asked by the Department of Social Protection to take on a programme that was funded by European funding for very deprived areas, the FED programme. And that means that we get 18 pallets of food, dry, non-perishable foods. So that comes in big pallets to us regularly, and then we have to distribute that. People register for that service.
We had approximately 5,000 people come through the doors last year. We've grown so much that we're now setting up distribution hubs around the city. So community organisations would deliver the food for us to those that need it. People who are housebound for medical reasons or they don't have a way to get into us in Limerick. People might think that it's those on social welfare that are using the service, but it's not just those on social welfare. We found that in the last year, there's a lot of people that are working, people on low wages that can't necessarily afford either their mortgage or their rent, because the rents have gone, they've risen so fast in the last year. So it's people struggling with their day-to-day bills that are coming into us.
Part of our food bank is a programme aimed at school children. So what we do is we distribute packs to families who have children in primary and secondary school. And in the packs they're stationery. So the stationery that kids would need going back to school in September and a kind of a top-up in January as well. And then the idea is that it would free up additional income in the family to pay the bills and to pay the rent or to pay the mortgage, and we would have people coming in who are in mortgage arrears using the food bank.
For some, it's the difference between whether they'll eat or not. We have families that come in that literally have no food for dinner that evening.
It is discreet and it is confidential, and we will help anybody we possibly can.
Our families would have experienced a very difficult and distressing time coming from hotel and bed and breakfast accommodation. So I suppose the aim of opening up the first family hub in the Midwest was for us to really focus on having that homely feel. Homeless hub model service provision isn't necessarily going to solve the homelessness crisis. I do think it has the ability to ease the difficult and distressing time experienced by homeless families.
Housing First ends homelessness. It's as simple as that. Housing First is an evidence-based, cost-effective approach to eliminating homelessness forever, permanently, long-term. We believe that housing is a human right and that everybody is housing ready given the right supports. So we work with the local authority, we acquire housing through our own stock, and we provide people who've lived on the streets, who've lived in hostels, who've lived in emergency accommodation, in bed and breakfast, and we support those people into their own accommodation, and we've achieved 100% occupancy and retention of housing. The support that we provide isn't time limited, so effectively the Housing First team will be there to support that individual in their home for as long as the support's required. Within the Housing First team, we provide a wraparound support for people, so that might involve support from us directly through the Housing First team, but also we support people to access other services, to get support around mental health, could be around substance misuse, access to education, to training and employment. So all of the specialist services that are around in the community, it's very important that we support people to connect with those services, because a key part of Housing First is about community reintegration. People who've experienced long-term homelessness are often estranged from their families and from society. So what Housing First can do is provide an opportunity for people to re-enter the mainstream and to reintegrate with their community, because that's the best possible support that can be provided.
Midwest Simon Community's Tenancy Support Service provides ongoing support to families and individuals living in Midwest Simon Community's own accommodation. This accommodation is provided across the region. This support enables our tenants to maintain their tenancy on an ongoing basis and to live independent lives. Our drop-in centre offers people who are homeless a safe space to spend time off the streets, hot drinks, fresh sleeping bags, and someone to talk to who will listen and will be non-judgmental.
Living in emergency accommodation for 6 months has taken a toll on Anna and her 8-year-old daughter.
I'll never forget, and I know no child, including mine and every other child that's homeless, will never ever, no matter how small they are, they will never ever forget that they were homeless and that they didn't have nowhere to go.
The young mum and daughter were among the first tenants of the first family hub in the Midwest, which has been at capacity since opening in September.
There should be no family, like no child, should have to worry about where they're going to stay every night. At least with the family hub, you knew you didn't have to leave next week, and it was stressful. Do you know, like living with 9 other families, loads of other kids.
There are currently 16 adults and 22 children aged from 3 months to 12 years sharing this converted bed and breakfast in Limerick. Laundry and cooking facilities are much appreciated by the residents. Anna and her daughter have just made the move to their new accommodation.
The family hub, yeah, I have to say, they helped me. They did. They got me my home. We're in it now, we're happy. You know, like we can actually look forward to Christmas. Sure, where we actually have a Christmas tree. We can come down the stairs and, you know, we can finally say it's over. You know, like it was just horrible from the start to finish.
While we receive part of our funding from the local government, this does not cover the cost of our services. Fundraising events are essential in making up the shortfall. The goodwill shown by the public towards Midwest Simon Community cannot be quantified, just thanked and appreciated. In so many ways, words cannot express our gratitude. From everyone at Midwest Simon Community, thank you.